birds have very colorful feathers, and understanding these colors requires a knowledge of physics, one that I don't have as my poor performance in college physics made me give up my dreams of becoming a professional spaceman. A recent Forbes article examines the science behind feather color, which doesn't come from pigments, as do the color of our eyes, hair, and hairy moles, but from the atomic structure of the feather reacting with the properties of light. Incidentally, Properties of Light will be the name of my real estate business when I become a spaceman who sells real estate in space. The dream lives! Blue jays, which are really scary birds when you see them up close. They're kind of like the Mad Max of crows. Anyway, blue jays get their blue color from their feathers consisting of sponge-like bunches of rods which reflect blue light due to the physics of band gaps. Not to be confused with the gap band which dropped the bomb on all of us way back in 1982. In physics, a band gap is a range of energy no electron can have inside a particular solid. This range is different for different solids. We use this technology in our microchips and other electronics. The blue jay feathers instead, bear with me, I don't really understand what I'm talking about from here on out. The blue jay feathers, instead of reflecting the energy restricted by the band gap, reflect the light wave they can't absorb in the rod like filaments that make up the atomic structure of their feathers, or something like that. It's color from quantum physics. I have a hard enough time understanding color without quantum physics. I can barely match my socks, much less understand quantum physics, but let's give it a shot.
The science report went around Los Angeles, asking, what is quantum physics?
Well, as an educator in an adults-only art class, I'm constantly telling my students it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Oh, it's funny you should ask. I was just sitting here composing now. I mean, quantum physics is just... I mean, it's what beats our hearts, and I suppose what breathes our lungs, and, it actually reminds me quite of this poem that I'd like to recite for you now. It's called The Nightingale and the Timbuk. Quantum physics. You. Yeah, quantum physics is it's like you got one thing in one hand and one thing in the other, and you don't know
you again, buddy,
which is which.
Oh, it's not enough that you gotta bother me on my company time when I'm working, but now all of a sudden you gotta bother me when I'm jogging out in the park, minding my own personal business. Well, not this time, buddy. I'm on to you. This interview is...
Quantum physics is a collection of theories that explain how the subatomic universe operates, which are different from the laws of our microscopic world. Think of it as two different worlds that make up the world we live in, kind of like the justice system. If you can hire a good lawyer, they can manipulate the smallest legal detail to your advantage. You can do anything: murder, sell addictive substances for profit, hijack democracy. That's quantum physics. If you can't hire a lawyer, you are bound by the laws of the microscopic and the state of California. You will get a $250 ticket just for jaywalking in downtown LA. There are two different sets of rules which don't intersect. Physics is unfair, especially that time I failed it because I had the lead in the school play. But back to those creepy blue jays. They're very interesting birds. They have a behavior that's called anting. The bird will lie down on top of an anthill and wait for the ants to crawl on its body. The jay will then grab an ant with its beak, crush it, and rub the dust all over its body, and then finally eat it. Or as the Koch brothers call it, another Saturday night.
Guests of the science report stay at the Radisson Hotel, located on the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. The Radisson, it's the world's problem, not yours.